Could this be the best value budget adventure helmet on the market? Let's find out. Now that's quite a bold statement, and I'm sure I'm going to get lots of suggestions in the comments section, and they are of course welcomed. But having worn this helmet for a few weeks now, here's what I found. Let's start with some tech details. It's a polycarbonate ABS mix shell. There are 3 shell sizes covering all of the size fittings. It comes with a clear face shield, and there are plenty of accessory colours and tints to choose from, including a photochromatic version. The visor that comes with the helmet doesn't have provision for a pin lock, but oddly there is a pin lock ready one in the accessory list, so we'll touch on that a little bit later on in the video. There's one big ventilation port on the chin which is switchable, and it's good to see a removable mesh pad behind that to stop the dirt and insects making their way in. There are also 2 permanently active vents on either side of the chin and 2 on the forehead. These are matched with 4 exhaust vents on the rear, 2 small ones at the bottom and 2 larger ones at the top. An adjustable and removable peak finishes off the exterior details. Inside the helmet you'll find a fully removable and washable moisture wicking interior. The cheek pads and skull cap are available in various sizes should you want to tweak the fit, and it's good to see speaker pockets for comms units built into the cheek pads, with recesses in the EPS liner to match. The pockets for the speakers open up and are fixed with Velcro. The chin bar also includes an EPS liner, which is something that's often overlooked in budget helmets. The standout element of the interior though is the MIPS system, or multi-directional impact protection system. If you pull out the skull liner you can see the yellow layer underneath which acts as a slip plane. The idea being that in the event of a crash, the MIPS is allowed to rotate slightly, which helps reduce the amount of rotational energy that is transferred to the head. It's a very important element to this helmet, and it's something that appears in a number of Bell helmets across their range, but it's good to see that included in a helmet at this price. And chin fastening comes in the form of a good old-fashioned double D-ring. So that's the tech stuff out of the way, but how does the helmet perform out on the bike? Let's start with the fit. Depending on where you look, it's either described as an intermediate oval or long oval shape. Now previously I found Bell helmets to be a round fit, but I have to say this is for me one of the best fitting Bells I've tried. I'm testing my usual size and it was a good fit straight out of the box, although it can be tweaked. The lining is soft and comfortable and is relatively plush, and it's generally a nice place to be. When I do helmet reviews, the question I get asked most often in the comments is it noisy? And my response to that usually is, it depends. It's a very subjective issue, and it all depends on the fit of the helmet, the bike you're riding, how tall you are, what you're wearing. They all play into that noise element, and different people will have different experiences of the same helmet. However, there are inherently quiet as well as inherently noisy helmets on the marketplace, and unfortunately the MX-9 Adventure just dips it into that latter category. I think because this helmet is effectively Bell's MX-9 motocross helmet with a visor on it, that's not really surprising. It's not terrible by any means, but open vents on a helmet are always going to create more noise than ones that you can close. For me it wasn't too much of a problem though, it wasn't really that bad, and I always wear my Ultimate Hearing Protection custom molded earplugs when I ride anyway, and wearing earplugs always makes a difference. If you haven't seen these, I'll put a link up there to the video where I had the molds taken for them, and I've also got a discount code that you can use with these guys, and I'll put that in the comment section down below. I was impressed by the peak though. I didn't get any vibrations or any buffeting from this. The air passes through it really easily, and it's solid as a rock even on long motorway journeys, and there's also no real grab when doing shoulder checks. I have to say it is better than some peaks on a lot more expensive helmets that I've tried. The peak is adjustable by loosening the top bolt and sliding it back and forth, and there are 2 positions for that fixing to enable further adjustability. In fact, there's a whole host of ways that you can set the MX-9 up for riding. You can wear it as it comes, ditch the visor and run with goggles, or ditch the peak and wear it like a street helmet. It's very quick to switch between them too. The bolts are easy to undo by hand, no tools are necessary, and the peak slots into place so there's no way to get it wrong. The visor is easy to change too. Once the bolts are removed, just open it up and it pops off. Place the alternative visor in the same spot and close it to hold it in place. If you want to run without the peak, 2 bevel pieces are included in the box to hold the visor in place neatly when the bolts are returned. There's also a rubber bung to fill the spare screw thread on the top. Very simple, yet very effective. One huge benefit of the MX-9's motocross heritage is this massive eye port. The vision it affords is exceptional, and of course this also means you have no issues with using goggles. These are the Oakley O-Frame 2.0 goggles, and they fitted with no problems, even with the nose guard in place. They are, by the way, a cracking pair of goggles, so if you're in the market for some, I'll leave a link to these in the description as well. Now, I referred to the lack of pin lock integration at the start of the video, but to be honest, I didn't really encounter very much in the way of fogging. The visor does have an anti-fog coating, and I think the fact that it does sit quite some distance away from your face and plenty of air circulates helps to keep it clear. Rain on very cold or very humid days could create a problem, but to be honest, I found that it seemed to perform pretty well most of the time. I did have a look through the accessory brochure, and there is actually a visor for this helmet ready for a pin lock insert, but it costs £110. There is also a light sensitive or photochromatic visor in the range, but that retails at £149. To balance the video, there's got to be some negatives though, right? Well, there are a few, but to be honest, they're pretty minor. It might seem strange to say this, but venting is one of those problems because there's so much of it. Now, in warm weather, that's fantastic, but when it turns cold, although the main area of air comes through that front vent, which you can close, the other small vents at the top and the front still do allow air in, and on very cold days, that can be quite annoying. There's also no provision for a chin sock on the helmet. Now, my beard acts as a pretty good insulator, but if you don't have one, riding this in the cold will be a drafty experience. The noise and the lack of pin lock can go down as negatives, but for me they're more of a minor gripe. Some people will bemoan the lack of a drop-down sun visor. I didn't find it a problem. I don't have an issue with that. For me, that's exactly what the peak is for. Having said that, there are some helmets in this price range that do have those, but you have to question how effective they would be and what other areas have to be cut to enable that to be fitted to a helmet at this price point. So for me, I think in the UK this is a really good 3-season helmet. It can be stretched into use all year round, but you might encounter some fogging on those cold wet days with this visor unless you invest in the pin lock version. And you're also going to need some kind of balaclava or at least a very thick neck tube to try to keep some of the air out from underneath. I can certainly see this helmet coming into its own in the warmer months in the UK. I think it's got most of the features that you'll need from an adventure helmet, but when you consider this retails at £189.99, then I think it's actually excellent value for money. Don't forget, Bell also offer a 5-year warranty on their helmets. So this adventure helmet, sub £200 with the MIPS system and a 5-year warranty, can't be bad. I also like the fact that you don't pay extra for graphics. The MX-9 Adventure is the same price whether you buy a plain one or whether you buy a graphic version like this Dalton design. So if you're looking for an adventure helmet and you don't want to spend a lot of money but want something from a reputable company with good customer support, then the Bell MX-9 is definitely worth checking out, particularly if you'd like to take your adventure bike off-road. I hope this video has been useful. If you've got any questions or there's anything that I've missed, pop those in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you with a response. So until next time, all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.